It's not benign. Just because you're looking at a trap that's sitting on the bottom does not mean it's not actively killing. In a healthy kelp forest, 650 species of fish will thrive in those areas at one point in their life. If you don't have these healthy kelp forests, you have urchin barrens, and almost nothing lives in those. I'm Kurt Leiber, president and founder of Ocean Defenders Alliance. Started the organization in 2002, and we've been operating in the water since 2004. Mostly in the San Pedro, Los Angeles area, but we moved up here to Ventura County a couple weeks ago. I've been working with nonprofits since 1982, coincidentally it was the worst year of El Nino. Excuse me. It was the worst year for El Ninos that we had, and it wiped out roughly 90% of the kelp. That had inspired me to find out what was going on, and eventually I found a way to do something about it.
But along with sharks are in the net,
yeah,
fish, birds, seabirds, cormorants are in that net up, 150 feet.
Wow.
I've been on dives at 100 feet to watch a bird go by.
I was out on Anacapa diving recreationally in 1999, and I came across an abandoned trap that had 4 lobsters stuck in it, and one was a really big lobster. There was no way he was getting out of there, and they had been in there for 4 months, and I saw that there was a need to get them out of there, so I picked the trap up and was trying to get the lobsters out of there. I had never handled a lobster before, and a bunch of people had seen what I was trying to do. They were in the same general vicinity. They saw what I was trying to do, so they came along and helped me out. And we eventually freed the lobsters, and when we got back to the surface and we were talking on the boat, the whole boat was talking about it. It was the first time they had seen anybody, that inspired to do something about it, about, the lobsters that were going to die in there. Usually they grab the lobsters and say, hey, I got a free lobster, I can go eat. That's not my MO. So I saw how inspired people were, and that's when I formed the idea to do a nonprofit organization that would deal with that. One of the things that the scientists really want to learn from us is the cormorants. There's a lot of cormorants that are dying in the traps. They actually go in there and fishing around, and they want to know numbers. So when you find a trap, do a mental note before you start disturbing the site. One of the interesting things about what I've seen over the years, we've removed nets from some wrecks, okay, and the wrecks, they didn't have much large life on it, and it was very apparent because you go to reefs and there's big sheep's head and Garibaldi and other animals that you typically will see on a reef, but on some of these wrecks you didn't see that. So when we removed the nets and then came back in subsequent years, we were seeing lingcod, 3 and 4 foot long lingcod that had never even been there, let alone in that size. And now we're also seeing larger sheep's head, which is a key component to keeping the urchin population in check. We only have 2 predators left of urchins, and urchins feed on the kelp, okay? They're the reason we don't have much kelp left here. So with those 2 fishes coming back, they are keeping the urchins in check, specifically large animals. That's the lobsters and the sheep's head. There's estimates that fishermen lose roughly 10 to 15% of their traps, for instance, every year. And these traps continue to kill not just the intended lobsters, but we found traps with fish in them. We found one trap this year that had 8 sheep's crab in it, and it was intended for lobsters. There have been documented cases where one lobster trap will travel 100 feet in a 6-month period. So it's not just sitting there. And of course when it's traveling, it's beating up against the reefs and killing all the benthic life. So it's not a matter of it's not doing any harm. One of the things that people don't seem to understand. Lobster season is a big time of year, even for recreational divers. Everybody wants to go out and catch a lobster. Well, the biggest lobster are the ones we need to leave alone. A small lobster, just legal size, will release roughly 80,000 eggs. One that's a much larger size, that it is probably 10 to 15 years old, they will release 680,000 eggs. And those are the breeders that you want to leave alone, because not only do they release more eggs into the environment, they're healthier. Just like, with people, if you have teenagers bearing babies, they're not healthy, and it's the same with fish and lobsters. There is an interesting fact. The commercial guys, for the most part, they're going to not do poaching. They know that they're being watched by the National Park Service, as well as the Fish and Wildlife Service. But a lot of the poaching that does go on is through recreational divers, and they need to be aware that this is a viable population of fish and lobsters we have here. Leave them alone. Don't go against the law and feel that, oh, it's only one. But that's 680,000 eggs that you might be taking out of the water with this one incident.